Hello everyone. Today I'd like to discuss about making two American passports and what are we going to use them for. The United States legally issues two passports. Usually, the primary passport has a 10 years validity period, but the secondary one only has 4 years. You have to explain to the State Department why you need a second passport. The first reason is political. If you visit Israel and Saudi Arabia separately, you can enter them with a U.S. passport without a problem. However, if you enter Saudi Arabia via Israel and your passport is stamped with an Israel entry stamp, you will be denied entry from Saudi Arabia. This kind of restrictions has reduced the number of the Israeli travelers. So, right now, they do not place any entry stamp on your passport when going through Israeli borders. Instead, they put an entry stamp on a separate blue slip. You can submit this slip on arrival in neighboring Palestine or on departure from Israel. Once you have confirmed your departure at the airport, another pink slip will be issued by kiosk or immigration officer. Then you submit it when you boarding your plane. For overland route, instead of stamping your passport, the officer will give extra stamp on a separate blue slip. You can take this slip and go into the directions of Egypt and the Jordan borders. However, this blue extra slip is not permitted on the Syrian or Lebanese borders. So exiting from Israel to Egypt or Jordan border should not be a problem. Vice versa, in the event of the overland arrival from Egypt or Jordan into Israel, the exit stamp of the relevant countries will be stamped on your passport. This exit stamp shows the locations of the border crossing checkpoint name. When entering Saudi Arabia, Iran, or Lebanon, they regard Israel as a sworn enemy. This exit stamp could be a problem as evidence of visiting Israel. Fortunately, at the King Hussein Bridge border checkpoint in Jordan, when you enter Israel, you can ask the immigration officer to stamp it on a separate piece of paper. By this way, the Israeli entry will not remain in your passport. But when you arrive from Egypt to Israel, you will not be able to do this. Due to this kind of complex entry and exit protocol, the State Department allows the issues of second passport to U.S. citizens. For your information, these are 16 countries that are hostile to Israel. They are Algeria, Bangladesh, Brunei, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Malaysia, Oman, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Syria, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. As you can see, the most of them are Islamic countries, but the list does not include Qatar, Bahrain, Egypt, and Jordan. The second reason is the travel schedule for overlanding many countries. For example, after traveling Europe, you plan to visit Russia. If so, you need a visa to enter Russia. One passport is used to send the Russian embassy for visa application, and the other one is necessary for traveling other countries in Europe. Holding two passports is very useful, particularly for overlanders, to reduce the waiting time for visa processing. Lastly, holding two passports is very useful if you plan to travel more than 3 months to most Western European countries, which have signed the Schengen Treaty. Schengen is a treaty in which the major Western European countries, excluding UK and Ireland, signed one border policy for their residents. Travelers from 60 other countries are granted a 90-day visa-free stay within a 6-month period. But for overlanders, 90 days is far from enough to encompass such many countries. If you have 2 passports, after 90-day stay, you go to any non-Schengen countries like UK, and later you can return to Schengen countries with another passport and continue your next 90 days of travel. If you hold dual citizenships, longer than 90 days stay is a lot easier. For these reasons, we have a Korean passport and 2 American passports. Korean passport can easily enter Iran and Russia without a visa. However, US passport requires visa application to enter these countries. So, we can present one of the passports according to our benefits. Usually, a new passport arrives about a month after the date of submission. Your primary passport or birth certificate will arrive within a week after secondary passport. I recommend 52 pages large passport book for more visa space. You have to prepare DS-82, the blue application form, and primary passport or your birth certificate. Passport photos, different one from the primary passport. No eyeglasses, okay? And a copy of a state driver license. And finally, $110 personal check for processing fee. In addition to these basic documents, you need a document which demonstrates the need for the secondary passport. The first pages show my itinerary go through Israel. And furthermore, I like to travel Russia, China, and other countries which require visa application. To clarify my itinerary, the second pages demonstrate a map showing the route of my overlanding journey. You can download the details of my documents from the link in the video description below. This is my secondary passport, and you can read 4 years of validity on it. And on page 51, it states what legal basis the passport was issued. Okay, this is all about today's video, and hope to see you soon again.